Moving to a new house right now means paying more every single month for the exact same lifestyle that you had before. That's why nobody is actually selling. But builders are cutting prices for the third month in a row. The freeze is cracking, and what comes next follows a very specific sequence that has played out before in real estate cycles. So let's dive in a little bit and learn from the past. The housing market didn't crash, right? It did something nobody predicted, and in some ways it's worse. It split in half. Half the country watched their home fall in value, while the other half in bidding wars. Same mortgage rates, same economy, two completely different markets inside one country. And a handful of days ago, the American Enterprise Institute published the number that tells you how long this lasts, and that's 3 years. National home prices going negative for the first time since the Great Recession. Down 1% by year end, down 2% in 2027. But the truth is, they're not giving you all the facts because the Fed out of St. Louis shows that home prices, the median home price, has been on the decline since July of 2022. See, this is not a crash, it's a slow grind. And this is how it started in 2005, where it topped amongst the median and average home prices in America, and then slowly started going down until it accelerated. You see, it doesn't depend on where you live. It's either already started or you just haven't noticed it or it hasn't touched you yet. You see, Florida is the canary in the coal mine. Three forces hitting all at once that nobody's connecting, and what's happening there right now is a preview of what could spread. By the end of this video, you'll know which side of the fracture you're on, what you need to change for this reverse, and how to find out whether the wave has reached your zip code. 28 of America's 53 largest metropolitan areas posted price declines for homes through February. All of Florida, all of California, and all of Texas. Cape Coral is down 9.6%. Austin still falling. Tampa falling. Phoenix falling. Nearly half of all Florida listings have taken a price cut. Over a third of sellers statewide are pulling their homes off the market entirely because they can't get what they need. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, it's up 8.6%. Pittsburgh's up 5.8%. Cleveland's up 5.9%. Grand Rapids up 5.1%. Milwaukee up 5.6%. And Chicago up 4%. There was the entire Rust Belt, every market rising as a block. Fortune published a piece 4 days ago calling this the affordability economy. The markets that flew highest during the pandemic are the ones falling now because at between 5 and 6% mortgage rates, those pandemic prices are mathematically unaffordable. The markets that were too boring to attract the remote work migration, they never got expensive enough to break. Now they're the hottest housing markets in the country precisely because they're affordable. And the truth is, you've got to look at this bifurcation. It isn't temporary. You've got to look at the fact that these migrations are the reasons why people are bidding these homes up. Because in a desperate move to move out of their area that is too expensive to a cheaper area, they're actually causing that cheaper area to become expensive. You see, the split is structural. It's not cyclical in the current phase, but it does get very cyclical when you look at the macro, the many years based off of the highs and the lows of mortgage rates and, of course, other costs like insurance and things like that. The conditions that caused it haven't changed, and nothing on the horizon changes them. That's the fracture. Now, here's the canary. Florida is getting hit by three forces simultaneously. Force one is prices falling across every metro, not stabilizing, but they're falling. Cape Coral projected to decline further throughout the year. Jacksonville condo prices are down 6.6%. Tampa's down 4.9%. The list goes on and on. Housing Wire confirmed that a 43.6% price cut is happening statewide, meaning nearly half of all listed homes in Florida have had an asking price reduction, a 34% withdrawal rate. Sellers are pulling listings because the market won't give them what they need, but they don't understand that they're not going to get that anytime soon. Look, this is why I built those courses, the Real Estate Cycles course, the Bear Market course, Home Seller Pro, and Real Estate Media Master. I put them all together. I'm going to run a sale for today for $49 for all 4 of those courses. It's going to change the way that you look at the market and how you prepare for the market. It's a game changer. It's already changed thousands of people's lives. Take a look at it. The link is down below, okay? So getting back to these numbers, they're not soft numbers that we're talking about in Florida. That was force 1 that I went over. Force 2, and this is one almost nobody outside of Florida understands. Back in June of 2021, the Surfside condo building collapsed. Florida responded with a Senate Bill 4D requiring every condo association to complete mandatory structural inspections and fully fund their reserves. The bill is coming due right now. Tampa HOA fees are up 17% year over year. Orlando's up 16.7%. Fort Lauderdale is up 16.2%, and the numbers go on. Miami, the median condo HOA is now $835 a month. This is hitting people really hard. The buildings with no amenities hitting $1,000 a month. The mortgages are fixed, but the HOA fees are not. Retirees who paid off their condos decades ago are being forced to sell because the monthly fee doubled and they're on a fixed income. So that's force 2. Now, force 3 hitting Florida, and again, the canary in the coal mine for the rest of the country, are foreclosures. Florida is the 3rd worst foreclosure rate state in the country. Lakeland has the worst metro rate nationally, which is about 3,200 new foreclosure starts back in February, and the March is going to be worse. Filings climbed every single month nationally. 12 consecutive months of rising foreclosures. February, 38,000, over 38,000 actually, properties with filings, up 20% year over year. That's a national number. Adams CEO Rob Barber called it gradual normalization. Now remember, he's referring to normalization where it was 2015, 2016. I believe you're going to see much, much higher foreclosure numbers, getting close to what we saw in 2008 if mortgage rates don't go down meaningfully and if we don't lose this insurance crisis. Now, the truth is the buffer is gone. The accelerant is a recession. Moody's has U.S. recession probabilities now at 49%. Every input feeding recession probably is recession is probably already in the system. The homeowner locked in at 3% can absorb a lot, but the armor has one big gap, and that is income. The one thing that cannot absorb a homeowner cannot absorb is losing the paycheck. A recession converts a portion of the locked-in population into forced sellers of real estate. That's supply hitting a market already declining. That's the escalation. The AEI published their projection for about 2 weeks ago, a week ago, and right now, nationally, negative in April, down 1% by the end of 2026 and down 2% in 2027. Those are housing numbers that they're putting out. So they're already, and trust me, they're giving you easy, light numbers, all right? They're talking about 3 consecutive years of national home price declines. This is the first time that's happened since the Great Recession. The national average is being held up by the Rust Belt, like I spoke about before, appreciating why the Sun Belt fails. And falls. Again, people leaving those areas, trying to dive into the Rust Belt, now turning the Rust Belt from cheap into expensive. Watch how that starts to fall as well. See, mortgage rates need to fall significantly, not to 6%, but to something close to 5 or below. And actually, 4% would really help. But is that coming? I don't think it is. Incomes need to rise dramatically, 56% above current levels. That's not happening in any realistic time frame. Or prices need to fall far enough to meet buyers, we're talking about home prices, where they actually are. That's what AEI is projecting, a multi-year correction. Not a crash, a grind. If you're in the Sun Belt, the peak pricing window has absolutely closed. If you're staying, you haven't lost anything real as far as money unless you're forced to sell. The freeze broke along a geographical line. The Sun Belt is correcting. The Rust Belt is rising. The direction you're heading is something you can find out right now. Okay, you could look it up this week. If you want to learn more about these links and these cycles and how to make money from it. This is how I made a lot of money buying homes in the year 2000, 2001, selling off all those homes and lots, the pieces of land in 2005 to prepare for this cycle, and then wash, rinse, repeat again. Links down below to the 4 courses, one stupid price. I'm going to have that sale running for today. Have a great day. The Real Estate Ninja is out.